And you talked about, before, about emotional fitness. And like, how important is that for healing? What does that really look like? Because we talked about physical fitness and mind fitness, but this emotional fitness, what is really that?
So, again, one of the most crippling of all things in our society is people being overwhelmed by feelings and emotions that they don't want. Mm-hmm. Whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, I mean, all the phobias, the avoidance behavior, it's epidemic, right? And in our society where we're really pushing the level of toxic stress, it's ever increasing. And when the system gets overloaded, a lot of times goes into avoidance, or it starts to feel emotions that are very, very toxic. So you can think it amazing if one could actually begin to go in and change those patterns, have some type of power. And as far as we can tell, that involves a lot of the will center and the choice center and that frontal cortex, which requires you're being present with uncomfortable situations in a controlled setting. So the difference is, if you go to the gym and you know that, okay, this is what I have to do, I have to do 10 sets of this, I have to do cardio for half an hour. It's a controlled setting. You know what to expect after the soreness and so on. In the emotional world, it's very scary when you don't know day to day what you're going to expect. Now, in Unified, by opening up this informational centers inside the brain, we can actually recreate the stressful stimulation and then let the person recover from it. And by doing that, just like working out, you do a little working out and you recover. You do 10 reps and you recover. You run a half an hour, recover. You get stronger. No one's ever been taught that, because as soon as they feel the bad emotion or the anxiety, that what happens is the disconnect, the overwhelm. They're petrified of it. And most of these are what we call implicit or procedural, meaning they're just bringing up something from our long past that we don't even know what it is. So, and that's why we realize today almost all obesity, addiction, alcoholism is an activation of these deep, darker feelings and emotions that are procedural or implicit. And they're often as real as the first time you had it, and you don't know what to do, and you have no fitness. So it's like telling somebody, hey, Joe, we're going to go climb, we're going to Colorado, oh my God, it's the most beautiful view, but it's 13,000 feet, and the person wants to, he has the will, but shortly within 10, 20 minutes of the trip, completely overwhelmed, feeling awful, and they can't enjoy it because they don't have the physical. But the fascinating thing is the emotional and the physical, the energy of those systems are controlled by the autonomic. And so that's the beautiful thing, is if we can work the same system that creates physicality, it also creates emotional. It's just one is actually you're doing something physical, one is now you're experiencing an emotional sensation and the biomarker and somatomarker in your body, and you can overcome it and you get stronger and stronger till eventually the mind isn't just wandering and running, and you develop a certain ability of control and mindfulness, which is a key thing today, and you could pick and choose what emotion. That's a huge thing. In the book Stroke of Insight, Jill Bolte Taylor, after having this massive stroke, going into the coma, life-threatening, the part of her brain that was so much involved in defense and protecting and avoidance, the left brain, had been damaged, and she was able to access more of her right, which is what we're developing, and the frontal cortex. And she realized that was one thing, key thing she realized, that she could pick and choose an emotion or feeling. And that's a beautiful option. I mean, to pick and choose. No, I want to stay mindful. I want to stay present. If you read the writings of Eckhart Tolle, or many of the Buddhist things, or any of the mindful, whether it's Buddhism or Christian, it doesn't matter. They say there's these heightened states when the mind just basically seems to stop and wonder, and it's just focused on one thing. And that one thing seems to bypass all the fear and worry and deliver us to a heightened state.